Hello guys, so for this video I have my 2020 bullet journal setup video for you. It's a quite long one, but I hope you can do it anyways. Have fun! For my this year 2020 setup theme, I decided to go for The Hobbit / The Lord of the Rings inspired theme. We just recently saw all the movies and I was really inspired by the storylines, and I in general really love the movies. Both Bilbo and Frodo go on a big adventure in the movies, and I thought this was just a very fitting topic for my 2020 setup. As you can see, I just drew out some outlines for my Hobbit Hole door, which is my this year's cover page. As you can see, I just colored in the wood pattern in green with my watercolors and the stones in red with my markers. I made a mistake here. I should have added the watercolors before I add the fine liners. Because of the water, the fine liner smudged on the page and actually bleeded through 2 pages. It's not the end of the world, but I wanted to mention it. As you can see, I skipped the second page because I wanted to add a Middle-earth map there. At this point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to draw it out or just print it out. Spoiler alert, in the end I just printed the map out. So we are jumping right into my future log. As you can see, I just drew out 12 brown boxes, and underneath I wrote all the numbers from all 12 months out. This took me a while, but now I really think it looks clean. For the title especially, I wanted to go with a Lord of the Rings inspired font, so I just googled it and I sketched out the font beforehand because I never wrote in this font before, but I think it turned out really good and I really love the look from this title. For you this was 1 second, but for me it was actually one entire day. I filmed this whole setup on 3 different days because I filmed it in between the Christmas days. Very smart me, but I wanted to just start planning using my new journal and just wanted to film it, so we have to live with it now. I had some time to sketch out these 2 swords at the bottom of each page. On the left side I drew the sword from Bilbo and later Frodo, and on the right side I drew this famous sword Anduril. Then I just wrote the names from the sword underneath them and used the same font as I used in the title, the special Lord of the Rings font, so it would match the title perfectly. At the end I added just some final touches. I added some whiteout to cover up my mistakes, and I just used my white gel pen to clean out the edges from the G in the title. My next page is my goals page, and I decided this year I want to split it up into 2 sections, into goals and focus. So in the goals section I want to write my goals in a little bit more basic way, so just the goal and nothing else. And in the focus section I want to add the things I can do to achieve my goals, so it's a little bit more specific. For the decoration of the page, I went with these 2 simple banners to fit my titles in it, so goals and focus. My only doodle I draw was the ring, because a lot of the Rings theme is nothing without a ring, obviously. My last bullet journal goals page was very overwhelming for me, so I wanted to keep it clean this time. 2020 is actually a very pretty number, and I saw a lot of people doing this 20 things I did in 2020 setup, and I wanted to do some kind related setup in my bullet journal too. I went here with 20 things I learned in 2020, and I did this spread because I want to reflect more this year. Also, I thought it would be very fun to look back at it. For the decoration of the page, I used my watercolors to first draw in a corner of a map and later went in with the watercolors to color in the eye from Sauron. My plan was to color the tower in black, but as you can see, the watercolors wasn't dry yet, so I had to wait a little until they were dry. Later on, I colored the eye a little bit more with my marker. They're actually water-based, so I just could add some water and it looked very nice in the end. For the final touches of the eye, I used some colored pencils in red and yellow over top of the watercolor, and I used my light gray marker to add some shadows to the towers. Some weeks ago, when we saw all the movies again, my family actually remembered that we have all the books here at home, and in one of them there was this map. So I just end up using it as a reference. Obviously, Mordor is not the same shape as on the map, but I just wanted to write the title from the name in this exact font. For the decoration in the map, I just drew out some minimalistic mountains. I just drew out some triangles, and underneath that I just drew Mount Doom, which I thought was very fitting. After that, I just went back with my marker and made the font more like the font on the original map. For the next spread, I have my songs I want to learn page. I play the piano and I like to dance a lot, so I just want to write all the songs I want to learn there, and also want to check them off so I can see at the end of the year which one I actually learned. When I set it up, this page, I really forgot about the camera, so I had my head into the frame all the time, so you couldn't really see me setting up this page. But what I did, I just did a border around the page and drew out a little doodle from Galadriel's gift. Next page is my book tracker page, and this year I went for a bookshelf setup. My bookshelf can fit 49 books. I want to color in them when I read a book, so I can track how many books I read through the year. I also included some doodles into the shelf. For the title, I kind of messed up. When I was drawing the banner for the title, I cut myself on the notebook. I could not really draw a straight line from the angle I was drawing it, so it ended up not really looking good. I tried to fix it with my white gel pen and I think it looks now better. After that, I just went in and colored all the things I wanted to color. Obviously not the books, I just colored the 3 doodles I made and the bookshelf itself. My next page is my 2020 in themes page. I never did this in any of my bullet journals before, but I was really excited to include it in my new one because I wanted to see all my themes in one page. I kind of messed up with the filming here, so you can't really see me setting up the boxes, but I think it's not very important either. I set it up 13 boxes, 1 for each month, and the 2020 setup, of course. And then I just added some brown drop shadows to the boxes with the marker I used before. Of course, I wanted to doodle some theme related things in the first box, and I think it turned out really good, and I'm really excited about when it will fill up more throughout the year. My next page I saw on a YouTube video. I can't really remember who it was, but she set it up a page where she drew a lot of Polaroid pictures, and she wanted to doodle every time she went to a place she really liked. She wanted to doodle this place in this Polaroid picture, and I think it is a very cute idea, so I wanted to include it in my journal as well. Next and also last spread is my 2020 in pictures spread. I saw this at the YouTube channel from Amanda Rach Lee. I think she included it in her last 2 bullet journals, and I think it's pretty cute. I got a Polaroid camera 2 years ago, and I actually don't really use it much because I don't really want to carry it around all the time, but this spread will force me to do this, and I'm really excited to just look back and look what was going on in the month or just in the year. I can see my year in these 3 pages. I just used my Polaroid picture as a reference for all these 12 boxes, and then I just wrote all the month in between the boxes. I end up not doodling at all at these pages because I want that these pages will speak kind of for itself when they are once filled up. As you can see, the last day of filming the setup started here. I just added the title for my 2020 in pictures page. As you can see, for my last page I went with a quote page. I think it's a good way to separate 2 themes. I went with a lot of the rings related quote here, and I just drew out a tree from Gondor above it. Quote says, "All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us." finished my last page, I just went back to my second page because I decided to just print out the map, and I knew that the A4 size paper would be a little bit too big for my notebook, so I just went in with my watercolors and tried to copy the color of the map. I wanted to have a map of Middle Earth so bad in this journal just because it was so fitting for the setup, so I just went in and glued it in the notebook. For my cover page, I decided to cut off on the right side the leftover space from the door, so you can see the paper underneath. To make it look more clean, I just used my cutter. I slowly cutted the leftover space off. In the end, I just used my black fine liner again to make the wood pattern more visible. On the right side, I went with the quote, "I think I'm quite ready for another adventure." I thought this was very fitting. And on the left side, I just wrote out 2020 in a very basic font and used my gray mark on top of it. So we are officially done with my 2020 setup, finally, after 3 days of filming. Now I'm just showing you my final flip through of this setup. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. See you next time. Bye!